Okay, guys, I want to address some of the issues that's been going on with Marvel Pinball. Let me switch actually, I'm not going to switch the camera. I'll just talk to you this time. So, I just want to point out for me, after being an owner of this for a few days, what the strengths are and the weaknesses. I can't compare it to Legends Pinball because my Legends Pinball is not in yet. But I can say this. There's a different market for each one. Each is trying to hit a different market. Legends Pinball sees itself as a step up, a little bit more premium, and it's also a step up in price, from what I understand. I mean, they say $5.99, but you pay $100 for shipping. So really, it actually, let's just face it, it's basically $700. And after you pay taxes, you can be as high as $750, pushing $800. So that's not, I don't think that's apple for apples at all. But it seems like a lot of people are comparing the two for some reason, which I don't think they should. I think that the Arcade1Up Marvel Pinball should be able to stand on its own. So I'm going to be dealing more with this pinball, okay? So, oh, and my Star Wars came in. I just haven't put it together yet, which I'm pretty excited about. I didn't think it would come into March 15th. Some of the strengths are the chrome trimming. As you can see, it has beautiful chrome trimming on it. That is a strength in my opinion because the chrome are the legs. The trimming, it wraps itself all around. In fact, let me show you. Here's the trim. It goes from up here around the marquees. It goes down the marquees to sides. It's on the side of the machine, all the way to the front of the machine to this side, and then the legs are all chrome. Okay, they could have easily had did wood, but they decided to make it all chrome. I think that's a very big strength, and that's extra cost on top of it. Next, the huge marquee. This marquee is probably their best marquee they've done so far. I mean, let's face it, that is a beautiful, beautiful marquee. Vivid, high resolution, it's just perfect, okay? That's a strength. Now, also, the speakers. Their speakers are the best, most immersive sound I've heard so far. Of all of the machines that I own, this actually sounds the most surround in stereo. It's not just stereo, it's like a surround stereo that pushes out around you, a 360 degree. That's a strength for the best sound. Now, I didn't say II Arcade. Nothing's gonna be II Arcade for sound, but I'm saying this is the best Arcade1Up has offered, okay? Another strength is, now, it's also a weakness too. They elected to do 720p, which was good, but I'll get to the other part of that as a weakness. 720p, guys, happens to be high def, for the record. And 720p and 1080p isn't that huge of a difference as you think. It's really how it's processed more than anything. So anyway, I'll get to that. Next, another strength is the price. Some people think that's a weakness. I think it's a strength because after having this, I'm going to explain this price to you, okay? Everyone agrees that the Arcade1Up new Camcon machine, as well as the new Motor Combat, that those two machines coming out at $399 is an awesome deal. So why don't we say this pinball was $399, okay? Just for sake of argument. Let's just start at $399. Our goal is to be at $399. Let's see if we can stay there, okay? Well, we have to add solenoids to it. Granted, they're very cheap solenoids, but that's still gonna be a cost. I don't know the cost of solenoids, but I don't think it's gonna be under $25 for 4 of them. So why don't we just say 25, okay? Next, a bigger marquee. Well, that's gonna probably add, let's just put that at 20 for a bigger marquee, okay? Chrome legs instead of the cheap wood legs. another $20, as well as the chrome trimming all the way around. And this is real chrome. It's not fake chrome. It's not chrome, you know, tape. It's real chrome. Okay, so 20 bucks. Remember, all Arcade1Up machines are 17 inches. This is their first 24-inch machine. Well, you don't bump up from 17 to 24 without a cost. Okay, so we didn't say it's not 17 to 19 inch. It's not even 17 to 20 inch. It's 17 to 24 inches. That's about 100 bucks. That's $100 there. And it's not just a bump up, it's also still high def. Granted, the lowest high def at 720. So you're looking at $100 there. Next, to get the license from Marvel, that does not come cheap. And everyone knows that type of a license is huge, $25. Now, they also have to pay for a license from Zen, and Zen worked with them directly to get this right. Well, that's a lot of cost in that. Zen doesn't work for free. It's not Christmas for Zen. So I'm gonna put $25 on that price tag, okay? The more graphics on the machine, but we won't say anything about that. Premium auto, I would say 10 bucks for the much better premium auto audio system. Next, the parts for the pinball. This isn't just a computer chip with a bunch of wood, guys. You know, I mean, this isn't just some cheap pie ripoff. They had to put a lot of labor into putting this machine together, and a lot more than a regular Arcade1Up machine. I'm going to keep it real low. I'm going to just say $25 more in labor cost to do it. And that's pretty cheap. And it probably is more than that because it takes a lot longer and a lot more precision to do a machine like this. Anyone who knows anything about pinball will say putting a pinball together is a lot more precise work, okay? Everything has to work perfectly, all right? The last strength is, well, I wouldn't call it a strength, but I would say that to me it's a strength. But for the cost, if you put all that cost together, it comes out to about $280. In other words, if we started at $399 or $400, this could easily be at close to $700. They kept it at $550 if you pre-ordered and $599. I don't know if they could lower that price, guys. I don't think it's possible to lower that price. And I didn't even mention the fact that all of the parts have went up. Okay, some parts they used were cheap, but some parts they used were premium too. So seriously, I don't really know what you guys are waiting for, but there's not going to be a lower price on its pinball. Arcade1Up will plain and simply just, you know what they could do? They can say, you know what, we're going to meet our pre-orders, and we're going to meet our pre-orders, and then we're going to phase pinball out because there's no money in it. They're not in a company to offer a product and not make anything off of it. It doesn't work that way, okay? The only company doing that is Legends, and that's because they're trying to make they're not trying to make the money on pinball. They're trying to make their money off of getting you to buy all the pinball machines that go with it. So they're basically doing a Nintendo move. They're selling that at cost and then trying to make up that cost by selling third-party games or whatever. So you can't compare this to Legends. I don't think that's a fair comparison. If they, as I said before, they can go up to 1080p and they can go up to 32 inches in their next iteration, but you're gonna have to understand, be willing to pay an extra $100 to $150. If you're not willing to pay that, don't ask them to go up to 1080p or to push it up to a 32 inch. Personally, the 24 inch works way better in the arcade anyway, unless they can keep it as low profile. I prefer 4K. I would love it to be more than 32 inches. I'd love it to be 40 inches with a very low profile, keep it almost the same size, just almost no bezel, and 4K. Now that, to me, would be awesome. So let's go back, let's talk about the weaknesses now. Some of the weaknesses, of course, is the fact that it's not 1080p. It's not 1080p, it's not 1080p. They could have did a better job at 720p. They could have, the color resolution should have been higher. The color fidelity, the differentiation in color should have been better. There's a lot of grays, and sometimes grays kind of get mixed in too much. So I think that maybe they should have updated the colors, or Zen should have updated the colors and realized that most people, if this is 720, they might have to maybe push the colors to add more color to it, turn up the color spectrum or something. Okay, it's no question. They probably could do this better, guys, and it still look nice at 720. So it's not just about, I've seen 1080p TVs that look terrible, okay? It's called, go to Walmart and look at one of those Spectre TVs. You'll see how bad they look. Okay, so next, low-end solenoids. They definitely did low ends. You can't really feel the vibrations much and stuff on the feedback, the haptic feedbacks and that. It's very low end. I agree on that. It really is. No glass. I don't think that's an issue for me. I wouldn't even know. It looks so authentic. You would not notice it was no glass. And speaking of no glass, just don't put stuff on it. Don't put your drinks on it, and don't let someone who is not responsible mess around with your pinball machine who could scratch it up. Okay, my dogs are not allowed. I have 3 doodle dogs. They're not allowed in the arcade room. They know that. They're actually sitting out there right now. I even show you, but they don't come in because they know. Where are the dogs at? Let's see here. Here's one. There's the second one over here. There's the other 2 right there. So they want to say hi to me. They want to jump around, but they know that they can't come into the arcade room. So they stay out of the arcade room because they'll jump and scratch something, okay? Let's see, other weaknesses. Some people say that the price is a weakness. I think they're wrong. I do not possibly think that that price can be much lower. Not and make any money. Personally, I don't know if they're making money, considering, you know, all the mistakes that they had to correct and stuff, because pinball is not easy to do. But that's where I'm at. I think they did a great job. Now, who is this pinball game for? Who is this pinball game for? If you have a computer and you have pinball already in 4K, this isn't for you. Why do you even want it? You got 4K. If you want it just to be in your arcade room because it has a lower profile, then accept it for its limitations. But if you've never had digital pinball, this is absolutely for you. It is a great launcher to start. And then later on down the line, you might want then a better one. But you have to start somewhere. You don't go for the best and most expensive, because if they raised the price, if they did 1080p and a bigger screen, you guys would be screaming for that. So this is exactly, they needed to be where they did for the first time around. Second time around, they might add more, guys, if they think they can make money. But if they think they can't make money and everyone's saying that they don't want it to be a higher price, they'll phase pinball out completely. And I would hate to see that happen, because I think that they did a really good job on this. And let's face it, Arcade1Up machines aren't that high quality. I mean, they're pretty low quality. I mean, it is what it is. But Arcade1Up helped many of us build an arcade room. I built my whole arcade room around Arcade1Up. Then I got the Legends machine, and then the wonderful and the best machine of all, I Arcade. And of course, what I think is the second best is the NVSX. Pinball is in its own category. So, as I said before, those were some of the weaknesses and those are some of the strengths. Thanks a lot.